Good morning. My name is Takashi Hara, CEO of DOCOMO Innovation and uh, head of a Silicon Valley branch of NTT DOCOMO Ventures. And thank you, Marcus, and especially thank you, Marcus, and thank you, Todd, for having me this great opportunity. And so my job is creating new business opportunity or collaboration between the US companies and the Japanese companies via technology development and investment. DOCOMO Innovation is doing, DOCOMO Innovation is actually R&D base of NTT DOCOMO in Palo Alto, and DOCOMO Ventures is obviously corporate venture capital of DOCOMO. And at the same time, I'm the father of two teenagers, 18 and 14. I have two concerns for them. So first one is communication, communicating with teenagers. It is very difficult and sensitive. So although I'm working for a communication company, but sometimes it might be difficult. So if you have any good solution or innovation, please let us know. It will be welcome. Well, the second concern is that they will have many, many social problems, including sustainability. But this is because of previous generation, including us. So sustainability, today's topic, is very, very important for me too. And I'm working for NTT DOCOMO for over 20 years. And DOCOMO is a Japanese cellular operator, like AT&T Wireless or Verizon in the United States. But the unique point is DOCOMO has R&D resource. And DOCOMO is very crazy about creating new platform itself. So obviously, DOCOMO created their digital cellular at the first decade. And next decade, we created mobile internet platform. And then we created mobile payment platform. So 1999 is over 80 years before iPhone launched. And 2004 is over 10 years before Google Pay and Apple Pay. Actually, emoji is the invention of DOCOMO. It's for fun or joy of users, platform users. And next decade, we created Smart Life Service platform. So we created a digital content platform, point economy platform, and bike share platform, and so on. So DOCOMO is techy, and sometimes seems to be weird, but we love creating new platform, changing people's life. This is DOCOMO. What will be the next? What type of platform is DOCOMO thinking, going to create in next decade? 5G platform, this is the one. But last year, we announced carbon neutral platform. This is a platform for the effort to the carbon neutrality. This is one of the important topics for today. This is the agenda for today. So after checking the situation, telecom industry, I will introduce 3 steps of approach we are now thinking of to the carbon neutrality. By the way, in order to say hi to my parents living in Osaka, it took maybe 300 years ago, it takes 22 days. But now we can take a bullet train and airplane and cars, so it's just only 2 hours or several hours. But by using the telecommunication, it take just only a few seconds. This is the fundamental value of telecommunication. In terms of carbon reduction, in terms of carbon emission, the value is the same. Instead of going there, actually, by using a telecommunication, we could reduce the carbon emission. This is the fundamental contribution of telecom industry. However, now telecom industry is struggling in terms of carbon emission problem. Why? Because of demand explosion. Everybody now using a video streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube. At the same time, how about meetings? All meetings now maybe has changed from in-person to teleconference. Also, I love in-person communication, so this event is fantastic. So, maybe I shouldn't say as a guy of the telecom industry, but in-person has the power. But some people saying that everything might be in metaverse, right? So demand now exploding. So this is a graph of global mobile data traffic from Cisco. In last 5 years, data traffic has grown 7 times in 5 years. The pace is 1.5 times per year. This pace is very fast. This pace exceeds many technological evolutions. So actually, in this industry, all power consumption in the telecom industry has been growing, increasing gradually. This is very problem. The situation is the same in Japan. So one smartphone, including all related electricity, like network operation or manufacturing, one smartphone emits 88 kilograms of carbon dioxide annually. So 200 pounds, maybe, so heavier than me annually. And totally 16 million tons per year. The number, this amount is equivalent to almost 10 million cars annually. So because of the amount, because of the trend, now telecom industry is struggling. So I believe that you can imagine now how challenging telecom company to commit the carbon neutrality. The DOCOMO committed last year. So we accelerate our goal from 50% reduction to the carbon neutrality by 2030. But how to do it? How to achieve the carbon neutrality? We have 3 steps. First one is by ourselves, which means from our network operation. So in order to reduce the carbon emission, we have 3 ways. First one is reduce from existing network operation. Second, we could develop the new technologies contributing to future network. And third, obviously, we could procure renewable energy more and more. Where should we start? Of course, operation, existing network of radio network. Radio network consuming 70% of all power consumption in our business. So now we are doing many things in radio network. So I cannot explain all, but for example, advanced base station sleep mode. So base stations are designed based on the peak traffic. So we could turn off the facilities or some resources if the traffic is lower. But the prediction is very difficult without any quality sacrifice. So we are using the big data analysis of data, network data. And at the same time, we could install newer, more efficient facilities. The 5G is more efficient than previous technologies. So 5G could transport the same amount of data with less power. So shifting to the 5G is directly contributing to the carbon reduction. And I want to pick up today green base station system. This is not the project, just only putting the solar panel or windmills near the base station. I will explain detail later. The green base station has 3 components, so generator, battery, and a management system AI. The management system has mainly 2 features. First one is to control battery capacity based on the demand and supply. So in the case of rainy forecast, the AI doesn't discharge at night. But on the other hand, in the case of sunny forecast, the AI discharges in advance at night. Then to make room for the electricity expected in daytime. This is the one. And the second feature is the feature to share the electricity between multi-base stations. So based on the situation, the system can transfer electricity one base station to another base station. This feature enables the stable operation of base station with unstable renewable energy. This management system has connected with 263 base stations countrywide, but this is not the end of the story. As I said, the number of green base stations 263, but the base station, which has a battery, lithium-ion battery, the number is over 100,000. Why so different? Because this high-performance battery is for disaster preparation. So Japan experienced big earthquake 2011. DOCOMO's base station lost the power, that we couldn't provide any cellular services. Although connectivity is very important lifeline for everybody. So based on this experience, DOCOMO decided to install lithium-ion battery to all base stations. Now we have done half. What would happen if 100,000 battery, we connected between 100,000 batteries of base station and the green base station system? It will become a gigawatt battery network distributed countrywide. What would happen if we open this system to the society? It will become the battery network that enables stable operation in the society with unstable renewable energy. So this is another potential. So it's like a reservoir, right? So as the water of rain is stored in a reservoir and to grow crops or to have a drinking water for every day, a stable operation. So this is another potential of green base station system. Next topic is about the future network. MWC Mobile World Congress this March, DOCOMO and NEC announced a POC, network function virtualization on AWS cloud environment. So this is for not only for higher performance or higher network robustness, it's for a higher energy efficiency. At the same time, this article is saying that when we think about the carbon reduction of next generation network, we need to think about cloud environment. Typically, cloud environment is a shared responsibility model. So in order to reduce the power consumption of the cloud, we need to consider server power consumption, a cooling system power consumption, and facility consumption, and so on. But this is the responsibility of cloud provider. But power consumption of cloud is decided, so it depends on how you use the cloud itself. So for example, how efficiently you use the database on the cloud, or how efficiently you design application on the cloud, and so on. So this is the responsibility of cloud user. So from the viewpoint of network, next generation network, we, cellular operator, needed to be on cloud user side. So DOCOMO Innovation started to think about this environment. So based on the carbon reduction cycle, we are now creating new tools for next generation network virtualized on the cloud environment. So green visualizer, which is allow us to show all carbon emission on multi-cloud environment on the one dashboard. And to orchestrate multi-cloud resources, now we are developing and evaluating the cloud orchestrator, which has such kind of features. So these efforts are for next generation network. on the virtualized on the cloud side, cloud environment. Our next section is about the cooperation with customers. So we are now taking an initiative, not only carbon neutrality of DOCOMO, but also carbon neutrality for society by cooperating with our customers, 80 million subscribers, almost half of Japanese. And we hope to add the entertainment element into the carbon neutrality effort. Of course, sustainability is very important, but we hope to do such kind of challenge. Now we name this initiative and a platform Carbonu. I have a video of explaining Carbonu concept. It's in Japanese, but it has captions.
最近よく聞くカーボンニュートラル。それは人間活動によって排出される二酸化炭素の量を人間活動によって除去・吸収し、プラスマイナスゼロの状態を目指すこと。現代の環境課題において、国や企業だけでなく、私たち一人一人とも切り離せない重要なトピックです。では、どうすればカーボンニュートラルできるのでしょうか。例えば、電車通勤やエコバッグなど、もちろんそのような取り組みも大切です。とても大切な社会課題だからこそ、みんながもっと楽しく参加できる方法をドコモは考えました。カーボンニュートラルをもっと身近に、そして誰でも楽しく参加できるプラットフォーム、カボニュー。この子はカボニュー。みんながカーボンニュートラルに貢献すると、カボニューが CO2 を吸い込んでいきます。みんなで力を合わせてカボニューを成長させよう。カボニューは人・企業をつなぎ、カーボンを減らした量を楽しく可視化します。ドコモはパートナーの皆様と共に、みんなが楽しみながらカーボンを減らせるカボニューなサービス、製品や取り組みを日常にどんどん増やしていきます。例えば 5G を楽しみながらカーボンを減らせるサービスや、地球環境に優しい企業を応援する投資のサービス、削減したカーボンを見える化するプラットフォーム、いろいろなカボニューなサービスが世に広がっていく。このプラットフォームはお客様に新しい選択肢を提供します。それは料金やつながりやすさに加え、地球環境にも優しいという選択で携帯会社を選ぶということ。カボニューなアクションが日常になった時、私たちの世界は大きく変わっていくでしょう。当たり前にサービスや商品を介して自然を思い、地球環境にも優しい企業がみんなの憧れとなり、カボニューという言葉が必要ないほど当たり前になる。ドコモはみんなでやればそんな世界を実現し、未来の地球を変えられると信じています。ドコモはこのカボニューをもとに、先端技術による通信の省エネ化や再生可能エネルギーの利用を推進し、カーボンニュートラルに向けた取り組みを皆様と共に進めます。カボニューという言葉が必要なくなる未来に向けて、さあみんなでカボニューを始めましょう。
Yes, so the last sentence in Japanese is saying that changing the world with you. This is a brand slogan of my company. Anyway, as you can see, Carbonu is an initiative now DOCOMO is taking for society, and Carbonu is a platform connecting these services and visualize customers' effort to the carbon neutrality and adding some entertainment elements like joy or fun to the carbon neutrality effort. It's like an emoji on the mobile internet platform, right? So this is what we are doing now. This is an example, green 5G commitment. So as I said, 5G migration is a good thing. So 5G is more efficient than previous technologies. So more 5G migration, meaning more efficient network operation, DOCOMO's network operation. But this is the internal effect. So it's difficult for customers to know how much the customer's choice impacted to the carbon neutrality. So we decided as customers migrate to the 5G, we will procure more renewable energy. And the impact of customer's choice will be visualized on the Carbon platform and Carbon app with Carbon point. This is an example. This is the Carbon platform. But I believe that one of the important things, most important thing is this is the way to really go to the carbon neutrality, not only for fun, not only for joy. So we believe we need to enhance our accountability to this platform. So by communicating with customers, we will improve our system based on the feedback. And the services should be expanded, not only by us, but also with our partners. This is the topic of the next section, with partners. The collaboration with partner enterprises is very important in various industries. This is essential. So we are calling the ecosystem of Carbon ring. So DOCOMO providing a platform, and on the platform, enterprise creates and provides the service and opportunities to the customers. And then the more services will increase, the more people participate in these activities, and then our platform will be more valuable for additional other partner candidates. This is the cycle of Carbon ring. And how about the collaboration with startup communities? The NTT DOCOMO Ventures will do. So NTT DOCOMO Ventures is a corporate venture capital. We have already raised $850 million and invested over 100 companies globally. Especially, we have been working in Silicon Valley since 2005, so over 15 years. So we invested a lot of companies like Coinbase, Evernote, and of course MIT-related startups like Skydio, which is a world-famous drone company, RapidSOS, TileDB, MetaWave, Wasabi, and so on. So we have been working with these portfolio companies in over 100 collaboration projects because we are seeking strategic return rather than financial return. So we are supporting the business development in Japan and the Asian market. And actually, last month, March, we raised a new fund. The size is over 100 million, but the difference from previous one is the strategic focus includes social reform, including the sustainability. So this is the kind of commitment for us. And actually, we have already invested and collaborated with Boost Technologies. This is a Japanese startup developing and providing the CO2 emission visualization platform, but we have already started this fund. So I'm very happy and excited to meet great startups on MIT Startup Showcase. So let me summarize today's presentation. Increase traffic data amount, increase traffic data trend, and resulting carbon emission makes carbon neutrality in telecom industry very, very challenging. But DOCOMO committed carbon neutrality by 2030. How to do it? We will create new platform with customers and partners. I introduce first carbon reduction in radio network. The examples are green base station and the battery network. I call it reservoir. And second, I introduce the tools developed by DOCOMO Innovation, which is for next generation network, virtualized on-cloud environment. After the second section, I introduce the Carbon platform. It's an initiative DOCOMO is now taking for society. At the same time, it's a platform connecting many services and visualizing the customer's choice and providing them with the fun and the joy, a sense of game, like emoji of mobile platform. last but not least, the collaboration, the partners we will include, we will include in Carbon New Ring. And I introduced the collaboration with startup communities via entity DOCOMO Ventures. This is all of my presentation. So I appreciate again for this opportunity to introduce DOCOMO's activity. And if I would be happy if you find some clues for future sustainability, or if you find something that inspires you, I'll be happy. Maybe if yes, it's best news for my teenagers in my house. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll read the questions. So I can read the questions here for you. How do you manage the carbon footprint of putting up new infrastructure versus modifying and recycling the previous generation?
It's based on the amount of electricity. So, so previous generation, and so, yeah, but of course it's difficult to monitor each infrastructure one by one. But totally, we are now measuring on the amount of the electricity. But now we are now checking more detail, because we hope to modify our project more sophisticated.
A few more questions here. Here we go. Are you considering an industry consortium with other companies for the total value chain achieving carbon neutrality?
Wow, it's a good idea. I will store this idea to Japan. But actually, yes, we should do that. Maybe we should start the industry directly related to the mobile cellular industries, like digital contents or point economy and so on. But we hope to expand more industries like manufacturing or transportation and so on. Yes, we should have a consortium.
Next one. What is the biggest hurdle to the Green Base Station Network project?
Wow, it's a tough question, but biggest hurdle, maybe capital. Because how to evaluate the ROI of this investment. Of course, sustainability is very, very important. So we need to enhance this activity, but we need to care about the fee of customers. We cannot increase the price. We don't want to price over the communication fee, so we need to balance the investment and the effect. But obviously, I love Green Base Stations project, so I hope to push this kind of project.
What is the business model for the Carbon platform?
Oh, tough question too. So, but it depends on what the corporate now thinking. So if the company think paying additional capital or paying additional investment is a good thing for their business, maybe it's very reasonable. So of course we need to communicate with partner companies, but it's a basic business model, I think. So from the B2B business model, not the B2C.
Yeah, and so I'm going to add my own personal question to the Carbon topic. It seemed like there was some gamification on that platform. Can you talk a little bit more about the incentives that exist for consumers to do the right thing?
And so, for example, the customer choose not driving the car, but taking a train. Then they get the carbon new point. So, for example, if they walk instead of taking the train, more points they can get. So we need some kind of resources to managing such kind of point. But we have already point economy. It's one of the largest point economy in Japan. So we could leverage such kind of resources to enhance carbon neutrality activity.
Got it. Thank you. I think we're going to wrap up here. One more question? All right, we'll do one more question. Let's see the next one. Oh, let's see. I'm going to go for the last one there. In general, CVCs, so corporate venture capitalists, aim at strategic or financial gain. In a collaboration upon sustainability, which or what gain will you aim at? Is it beyond purely financial gain, I guess is the question.
No. Yes, so it's obviously strategic return. You know, as I said, that we are working for telecom industry, so we have almost no know-how related to carbon neutrality. So we need to know, we need to be educated. Of course, today too. So I needed to be educated with cutting-edge startups on the MIT startup showcases. So definitely, we seek the strategic return from our investment of the new fund.
Got it. Thank you very much. And we're going to go to the next speaker.
Thank you. Thank you.